They prepared these returns as a ghost preparer, meaning
Mm.
they did not they did not sign off on the tax return. The
Only you.
taxpayer signed off on the tax return. They prepared it, but because they didn't sign off, they indicate to the IRS as if me as the taxpayer prepared the return myself.
Mm.
That's what's happening with the ghost preparer,
That's exactly what's happening.
right?
Yep,
So
that's
the
exactly what's
IRS
happening.
is under the impression that you file that return yourself because there's no
Right.
PT here, there's no information for a tax preparer, none of that's there, right? So even if they did want to come back to somebody, is you saying
Mm.
so
Yeah,
and so did it, but what proof
right.
do they really have? I don't know. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Financial Fraud Friday. Karina and I are back to talk about another fraud case that we have found. Again, this is you, we are giving you entry into the personal conversation that we would normally have. Once we see something like this, we send each other the article or the video and say, "Girl, did you see this?" So we have not yet discussed it, and so you guys get the opportunity to join us in that discussion. So that's basically what this is. We are here every other Friday. For those of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Nike Togba. I am the owner of Togba and Associates, a tax, accounting, and advisory firm in the Atlanta, Georgia area. We focus on professionals and small business owners utilizing a personalized approach. Okay. If you would like to work with us, please feel free to visit togbaandassociates.com and click the link to schedule a consultation.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Kerrina O'Connor, and my business is Cake with a K Financial, where we help six-figure solopreneurs with tax problems resolve those problems so they can run their business with confidence. And some of the services that our business handles for you is helping you with a tax bill that you cannot pay in full, or if you have back taxes, that means you haven't filed for the last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 years. So we're a virtual firm here in South Florida, but we can help nationwide. So if you want to book a call with me, you can book a link in the bio, or you can call 954-761-5253 for someone to book it for you. And now back to Nikkei. Oh,
So,
maybe I should do the disclaimer,
yeah,
actually.
yeah,
Let me
because
do the
you
disclaimer.
know.
Yes, okay. So disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. This episode is for educational and informational purposes only. This is not legal, tax, or financial advice. All information discussed comes from public court filings, news reports, and press releases. Everyone discussed is presumed innocent until proven guilty in court. While we are tax professionals, we're not yours, but we can be. Please book a link in the bio. So now I can go. Nikkei, what's the topic for today?
Ew. Juicer. Okay, let me stop. This one comes from the good state of Atlanta. We got to start keeping that tally. Because we
Yeah.
Florida, which how many we've caught in Florida and how many in Atlanta, but this one comes from Atlanta. It broke yesterday, or the date on this particular article is March 16th. So for us, this is, per this recording, this is yesterday. Tax preparers, and it reads, okay. Tax preparers kept money, left clients owing thousands to the government. Okay, so they kept the money and left thousands owing to the government. This is a Channel 2 investigative report. Okay, it reads several Metro Atlanta taxpayers accuse a local tax preparer here in the Atlanta area of falsifying documents and in some cases never filing their tax returns. Okay. They told Channel 2 it left them owing thousands of dollars to state and federal agencies. Those customers contacted Channel 2 investigative reporter Ashley Lincoln. She's the one that wrote this article after receiving notices from the IRS and state tax authorities about unpaid taxes and incomplete filings. A review of federal records also show the business does not appear to have the proper credentials. Okay. The complaint center on, I'm not going to list the tax service because I am in the Atlanta area, and this can be found by, kind of doing some research on your own. On a tax service here, that customers say they initially trusted the company to handle their tax filings, but later discovered serious problems with their returns. Now, Channel 2 has previously reported on this company in regards to complaints. This happened last year about the company after a customer said she paid $15,000 to settle taxes for her 93-year-old mother. She states that every month she would have $1,000 withdrawn from her account. She finds out that she was told the payments were being sent to the IRS. Screenshots she provided show the money being withdrawn from her account, but she later alleged in a police report that the funds instead went directly to the preparer, the owner of the business, and her husband. Okay, and so I'll put a pin in it there. And Kerrina, thoughts?
So many thoughts.
Thoughts.
Wow. Just, tale as old as time. It's the same. What they say, same old, different day. It's the same thing, and it's
Same,
just really
same thing,
sad
different
because
day.
it's expecting, especially for this 93-year-old, like, I mean, the lady is paying for her 93-year-old mom's taxes, right? Is that what was in the article?
Mm-hmm.
93? I'm not trying to pay no 15th. Actually, if we having a conversation, she may be a good candidate for OIC, like offering compromise or something. If you're 93 years old,
Oh,
you
that's a
don't have
thought.
much,
I didn't even
I'm
think about
assuming
that.
you don't have, this is just
By
this
way
how
of
I
income. Yeah, no, you're right. Because what work can she do
be on some fixed income.
right?
I'm sure more than likely, like if her daughter is paying, or her granddaughter,
It's
was
her,
it?
yeah,
Her granddaughter is the
it's her
one that's
daughter, her daughter.
her daughter is the one that's paying and struggling to make a payment. That means that grandma can't pay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like more than likely, grandma can't pay.
Right.
Meaning that if grandma can't pay, she probably should try to go into an offering compromise, especially since this was not her fault. This wasn't grandma's
Mm-hmm.
fault. It
Mm-hmm.
was the tax preparer's fault that did not prepare properly or whatever the case is. This is all an assumption, you know what I'm saying? But she could be a good offering compromise phase because she's older. She at 93, like actually I'm glad that she's still living, but she's a little bit
Oh
closer
no, but
to.
at the time of this article, she had this issue started for them, for her anyway, last year. So at the time of this article, unfortunately, mom has passed.
Oh Lord.
So
So
mom has
she
passed.
already, oh
Hmm.
man,
Yeah.
that's really sad to
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
hear. Wow. Man,
So, but she's still
it's,
paying on
it's
the
just,
she she's still paying on the tax debt. So she says if I had paid on time, I would it would have been about 6,500. But because of the penalties, the delay and no processing, the balance is now 28,000.
oh my God. Yeah, she
28,000.
needs to see if she can get a professional to come and help her. Um, they haven't, I'm like, sorry, like I'm over here going, I'm just saying she needs to see if there's a professional that can actually
That can
help
help
her
her. Yeah. But you know
because,
what? This made me look into the tax code because you and I both know that when you file a tax return as a tax preparer, we know that we're asking you, we're telling you, take a look at this because at the end of the day, they're not going
you're
to come
saying,
looking for me, darling. They are going to come and they're going to ask you because you
right.
sign off, right? Now, I am not saying that that is just. I am saying that that is just that's the rule. That's what it is, right? It may not be just, but that is the rule. And some tax preparers, knowing that that is the rule, knowing will take advantage of that because they know they're not coming back to them. They're coming to you, right? Um, I stated that they didn't have the credentials, meaning they didn't have a PTIN, right?
Yes. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's explain what a PTIN is because we're
Okay.
also talking to people who do not know. So PTIN is a preparer tax identification number, PTIN. That's all it stands for. Basically, it's like a social security for tax preparers. It's to let them know, the IRS know, that this particular preparer is this particular person, and they are the ones that did this tax return, so
Right.
they can find them later.
Right.
Um, basically, so they can
Right.
find them later. So yeah, continue now. I just want to make sure that they
So
know
they didn't have there were no P10. They didn't add a P10, which I am assuming, this is an assumption, means
that.
that they prepared these returns as a ghost preparer, meaning
Yeah.
they did not they did not sign off on the tax return. The
Only you.
taxpayer signed off on the tax return. They prepared it, but because they didn't sign off, they indicate to the IRS as if me as the taxpayer prepared the return myself.
Mm.
That's what's happening with the ghost preparer,
That's exactly what's happening.
right?
Yep,
So
that's
the
exactly what's
IRS
happening.
is under the impression that you file that return yourself because there's no
Right.
PT here, there's no information for a tax preparer, none of that's there, right? So even if they did want to come back to somebody, is you saying
Mm.
so
Yeah,
and so did it, but what proof
right.
do they really have? I don't know. I don't know what proof they really have that so and so did it when so and so's name is not on the return,
This is true. This is
right?
true. Yes, this is true. And it's sad, once again, just sad, 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 a sad story because
The sun is beaming.
they're not, apparently based on everything, they're not answering phone calls, they're not answering videos for, for those clients anymore.
No.
When the news channel tried to reach out, they ducking and dodging, obviously,
Yeah.
ducking and dodging.
Which
So
which indicates that they knew exactly what they were doing to you.
yeah, more than likely, but I guess they're not going to
Ooh,
admit it, but
that's vicious.
they're not going to admit it, but yeah, they knew exactly what they were doing. And I think what's even you turn up a little bit of a notch, they're not random preparers that are preparing under a tax another tax firm. It's their tax firm,
Yeah, they had a
right?
store. It appears that they had a storefront.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looks like they have a storefront, meaning that if it's your tax thing, like they who's the ERO? Like who
Ooh,
did
I
the
didn't even think
who
about
did the
that.
fingerprinting to even have something to electronically file? Or are they just using H&R Block, TurboTax, etc. DIY and just doing it, but they have a storefront?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even
Because you
think
have
about
to,
that.
another thing, another layer, in addition to being a P10, a P10 means that you are preparing a tax return, but you could work under somebody else that is able to electronically file to the IRS. But in order to electronically file to the IRS, there's a process and procedure that has to happen, which is
Yeah,
ERO. I can't remember
yeah,
what
yeah,
that
yeah.
stands for or what. But basically, it's saying that you, the tax firm, are able to submit tax returns to
Uh-huh.
the IRS, the e-file them, or to the states.
Okay.
But in order to get that information, or not information, to get that ability to do that, you have to get fingerprinted. You have to get background checked.
Yeah,
You got to do all of these things so the IRS knows that, at least you're somewhat legitimate.
yeah.
Um, so I'm asking, who's the ERO? Or is
Ooh,
there any,
I
you know
doubt
what I'm
there
saying?
was one now that you say that. Maybe they were using like a bot, like a general
Like, yeah, a
system.
general
Yeah.
tax thing, acting like that they're, it happens.
30. Oh
But
my
yes, it's
God.
really sad because those people are now they're literally left holding
The
this huge tax bill that they thought was, this one young lady said that the tax preparer said that for her to amend some taxes that she already did and didn't even do those completely. Did those and made them incomplete.
But you know what she was doing? She was
Huh.
amending the girl's prior year returns. From what I could tell, this is my understanding of what I read, amending the prior year returns so that the young lady could qualify for the ER, the credits, the
Oh,
return
the people, the
credits.
ERTC, whatever
Uh-huh.
credit,
Right. So
employee
she
retention.
was So she was editing this young lady's returns so that she could and that's why they weren't complete. Because then remember, by the time the moratorium had ended, now the IRS is starting to ask for proof. Now they're saying,
Yeah.
hey, your return is incomplete. So instead of them saying, oh no, this isn't right, they would say, instead of saying, we don't believe what you got going on, they started saying, your return is incomplete. Remember,
Mm.
that was, I don't know if you had ever filed one, but if you filed one and they started realizing there was missing information, that was what I was hearing, that they would say your return is incomplete. If you filed one, you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
that's what was going on. And I kind of, as we're saying this, you said that they would be left whole in the bag. I kind of wanted to jump into two other things. So for you guys that do not know, Kerrina and I are mentioning the rule that says um, if a return is filed, you as a taxpayer signing off on that return are responsible for it ultimately and in the end. The IRS generally has 3 years, right? Based on,
So
as I pull the code, limitations on assessment and collections, right? So
3 years if no fraud is involved.
if no fraud is involved, right? So if fraud is involved, so the amount of any tax imposed by this title, so 605, 6501, the amount of any tax imposed by this title shall be assessed within 3 years after the return was filed. And that's just brief. There's more to it. That's not the end
Yeah,
of it. So don't take that and have that, hold that as word.
right.
That's just the first sentence. Let me start by saying that. Okay. Now, in the case of fraud, okay, there's an exception. When fraud is involved, the relevant provision, IRC 605, 6501 Seed 1 states the following. In the case of a fraudulent or false or fraudulent tax return with the intent to evade tax, the tax may be assessed at any time. So they can come at you. There is
Indefinitely.
no statute. And I'm pulling this from an article by attorney Hale E. Shepherd, who I just love. Gonna have to send you some of his stuff, but I like him.
Okay.
So, and he says that, and in this article, it says the courts disagree whether fraud by others exposes taxpayers to endless assessment periods. And in this article, he's basically stating how the tax court is split. In one case, they're saying they don't care. If it's fraud, it's fraud. They don't care who did it. You are exposed to and uh you are actually you're up into this rule, and that's just it. In another case, they're saying others another rule that the exception is triggered regardless of who committed the fraud. Another is saying that it should only apply when the taxpayer misbehaved. And again, I'm pulling this from an article. Courts disagree whether fraud by others exposes taxpayers to endless assessment periods. And this is by attorney Hale E. Shepherd. This came out September or October. It's in the Journal of Taxation, September, October 2025 edition. So, he kind of reported on this and how we as tax preparers, and even you, Kerrina, defending um, positions and trying to fight on the behalf of others, how difficult it is. Because if
Yeah.
they're split, we're kind of subject to where we end up, right?
Yeah.
And so I kind of want to then now take this over to Kerrina is an EA. I know a lot of y'all don't know about EAs, but Kerrina, you went to DC advocating on behalf of taxpayers, kind of trying to mitigate or trying to stop this exact thing from happening. So can you
Shed some light.
right into me, but tell us
Of
more?
course. Yes. So just to explain, an enrolled agent. An EA is an enrolled agent, not an executive assistant. An enrolled.
I cannot. Okay.
Think of EA, you think of executive assistant. But in this case, EA means enrolled agent. All that means is that I am awarded the highest highest accreditation that the IRS gives. So on a federal level, I was able to do 3 exams that the IRS administers just on tax. So individual tax, business tax, ethics, and policies and procedures as it pertains to tax. So my goal is, just like CPAs, attorneys, I can represent you before the IRS. So I can be your liaison if anything happens where you don't want to talk to the IRS, you can't talk to the IRS, or you're just fed up and don't know what to say. You have somebody step in on your behalf to talk tax to the IRS so you don't get yourself caught up. So last year, I think it was May. I want to say, yeah, I
Was
think it was,
it?
yeah, I think it was May, because it had to be after their tax season.
Wow. Yes,
And
yes, yes,
yeah,
that's right. Hmm.
yeah, it had to be after tax season, so it was May. Um, May of 2025, and every year I go with a membership of National Association of Enrolled Agents, NAEA. They advocate and they have this fly-in. That's what it's called. It's fly-in, where we fly into Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., and we advocate on behalf of taxpayers. So that advocation means that we're trying to do what's best for taxpayers, period. Not, it's not political in the sense of like, was Republican versus Democrats. It's what is good for the taxpayers, period. So some of the things that we asked Congress, like this is Senate and representatives, that we asked them was, we went into their rooms, we talked to their representatives to ask them to, one, have a credential or have some type of education for tax preparers. Right now, preparing taxes is so low barrier to entry, anyone can do it. And when I say anyone, I mean literally anyone. And even with the PTIN, because that's a little bit, a smidge, just a smidge of an extra layer, they pay $35 for the year, put in some, type in some whatever else, boom, they can prepare taxes. And it shouldn't be so. So if you go to a barber, if you go to your hair lady and go to a hair salon,
Right. Yeah.
there is a certain amount of hours and certifications that they have to do in order to graduate and say that, great, you're a hairstylist now. Great, you're a barber now. You know the proper policies and procedures.
Preach,
But
preacher.
for tax,
Okay.
but to prepare taxes,
Nothing.
there's nothing.
Not a
And
thing.
when I say nothing, I mean that there is
Nothing.
nothing. There is no educational
Man.
requirement. There is no anything. So that means that somebody can just decide, like, hey, I want to go ahead. A lot of times it's like, this is my side job, right? On a regular day basis, I say I drive trucks. Maybe that's a bad example, because people who drive trucks, they don't do that. So I decide that I want to do this one thing, like my
Uh-huh.
day is X, and then I'm just going to do taxes on the side.
Yeah.
My day job has nothing to do with taxes. I don't know anything much about taxes and tax preparing, but I'm going to go ahead and file. Not only that, I have to file and get people's social security numbers, addresses, birthdays of them and their families.
Hmm.
And I have absolutely no education on this subject.
Yeah.
That's a scary thing. So one of the things that we were asking Congress for is to have some type of barrier of entry. They ain't listen yet. So I'm just
Clearly.
like,
Clearly.
oh well, now we have, no, they ain't listen yet. It's still low barrier.
No.
Still, if they didn't, it's still very low barrier to entry.
Right.
There should be a level of education. Things are changing. Even the one big beautiful bill just happened last year, and
Girl,
things are
it is.
changing even now while we're in tax season, after the
Yes.
bill was signed in July,
Oh my
because they said,
God.
oh, tips and stuff were going to be for self-employed. Now it's backtracking and saying that it has to be on a 1099 for
Yeah.
it to count.
Yeah.
So it cannot be self-reported tips to get the no tax on tips deduction. But this is what I'm saying. Like, somebody who is filing taxes and filing your taxes needs to be able to be on the education train to know what's happening and what's shifting constantly.
It's a
So
consistent,
like,
yes, Lord help.
yeah, we have, like, the case also credentialed in she's a certified financial examiner. We have Was it continuing education that we have
Oh,
to
sorry,
continue?
correction. Certified fraud exam.
Fraud, sorry,
That's the
what did I
reason she
say?
likes good some good fraud, but fraud.
Yeah, what did I
Go
say? What did
ahead.
I say? What
Yeah.
did I say?
Financial. Oh Lord,
I
let's stay
did
away
say
from
financial. Oh
that.
my God, I'm so sorry.
No, it's
Fraud.
okay. Totally fine. Totally
Yeah, fraud. What we're doing, fraud.
fraud.
She's saying to look for fraud.
Fraud,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. So we have we have continuing educations that we have to hit every single year, or we don't get renewed
Yeah.
for this life. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you should have somebody that is, I'm not gonna say like all, because I was just last year, just earlier last year, I wasn't necessarily credentialed, but what I made sure I did, like, at least in the early part of the year, right? Or years before, I am still educating myself. I'm still having a PTIN. I'm still doing all of the things that I need to do to make sure that my clients are not getting fooled and bamboozled.
And
I'm reviewing
I'm
with
sorry,
my
go ahead.
clients a tax return. Like, oh yeah, girl, I was going on a soapbox.
No, no,
I'm
no,
reviewing
no,
with
you're
my
totally fine. Go
clients.
ahead.
I'm reviewing with my clients. Hey, this is what your tax return is saying. Do you agree? Do you approve? Do you understand? Maybe we can have a deeper conversation because you need to understand what you're signing. Maybe you don't care. I
But at
still will,
least take a look. Jesus Christ.
but you need to at least look at it and view it.
Because you and I were discussing the other day. We say this. We advocate before I even get into this. I'm gonna say plug. For those of you that are watching, if you're looking for a tax preparer, it does not have to be one of us. But if you are looking for one, I have a link in my profile. It should be one of us, but it doesn't have to be. But
Yeah,
I have a
yeah,
link in my profile that gives you tips for choosing your tax preparer. And one of those tips, Karina, is ask that tax preparer what was the last continuing education class they took.
there it is.
I think that's a great tip.
That's a
Because if
great
they
tip.
can't answer that question, we got to hold up now. So
There's a lot of things
if
there.
you can't list the class and give me the
The
CE.
title,
Give me the title. I even want to know the number of CEs you got for that particular course. I do. I need to know if it was one, two, five, or six, eight. I don't know. What was it? Why? Because it tells me how long that class was. I need to know that too. I want to know. When was
that's
it,
true.
and what was the last class? Now, if they give you a class and they say, oh, it was so and so and so, and let's say we're in March and it was last year in November. I'm gonna give you some wiggle room because I know it's tax season and the time frame
Mhm.
for to take a CE right now. You're like, girl, I'll wait and take that CE after this is done. I cannot take no CEs now. But or what was the last article? What anything?
Yeah, how are you
Get
keeping
some
abreast on
information.
these?
You have
Yes,
to vet the individual. If they are not coming to you from someone that you feel is reputable in your life, meaning they come well referred. This person, like she is fantastic. If you start feeling any kind of butterflies in your system, don't do it.
exactly.
There's too many of us out here for you to choose from, for you to just go with someone. This is too important for you to just, all right, I guess. Here you go.
Oh yeah, just whatever. And if it's
Here's
too
some
good
stuff,
to like
you know?
too good to be true. And like that young lady said, oh, it was like $40,000 that she was gonna get back.
Hmm.
I have to say this because I have this conversation more often than not with
Yeah.
either prospects or clients.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, well, I just want the highest amount of refund, which understand, right? This is what I don't, as a tax professional, I don't guarantee 5,000, $2,000 per kid. You can't. You can't. Actually, there's some legalities in that. Like actually with
Can't even
circular two,
say that. Per circular 230.
we can't
Some
say that.
things you just can't say.
You know what I'm saying? We can't say that because it's inaccurate. Every person
Yeah,
in every situation is different. So you may have two kids, but you may not be able to even be in the threshold to get a child tax credit or earn income credit because your income is way higher than that.
right.
But like it's just what it is. So I want people to understand that having the highest amount of refund does not always mean that it is good,
Yeah.
because you can get a high refund now, and 2, 3 years later, the IRS is knocking on your door saying that this is inaccurate and I need my money back.
I want my money back. Oh, plus them good interest and
Plus
some
the
interest
interest.
penalties. We decided to throw this in there because we felt like you should have known that. We're gonna add some more money on there. Go and give me,
So
run
yeah,
me there.
it's just, But in closing, Nikkei, do you have any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. One of the customers said, one of the clients said, it's very sad, and it also hurts my trust in small businesses.
Oh, yes,
This
she did.
this is why I'm just like, these stories are dead. They just, every time I hear one, I'm like, golly, they make our jobs harder. Well,
It does.
I don't know, maybe it's a matter of perspective. Do they make our jobs easier because we actually care? They make our jobs harder,
Mm.
and they make it harder you have to now really, not that you shouldn't be crossing your I's, dotting your T's, whatever, whatnot. It makes it hard here's my thing. It makes it hard for us as as preparers who care. We don't get much leeway or grace, right? Because mistakes can happen. And so when a mistake happens, the way we have to respond, it's everything about it is sensitive. Everything
Yeah,
about it
it
is
is.
sensitive. I would, it's just sensitive. And so it hurts her. It's very sad, and it also hurts her trust in small business.
Yeah,
That's
it is sad. That's sad.
that's
And I
sad.
think a lot of people also will defer, because I saw a lot of the comments were also saying, oh, well, this is why I do my taxes myself. You can, you know what I'm saying? Different people, different strokes, different, you know what I'm saying? If you have a basic W-2 tax return, do your taxes yourself. Whatever, that's fine. Like
Yeah.
that's not even, you know what I'm saying? It might be better for you to go ahead and use those free services to do your taxes yourself. But if you have a complex tax situation and you don't know the difference between an S corp and a C corp and what the due dates are, you know what I'm saying?
Shade.
Probably shouldn't be filing your taxes
Right.
yourself.
You're right.
You know what I'm like? And this is not like we're laughing here just because
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
But like we're
It's
laughing
so
here, but
funny.
like it's serious.
It is. It is.
Might not
It
be
is.
able to, like, there are some things that you should do yourself, and there's others that you should let a professional handle it for you
Yeah.
if you do not know. Because
Hmm.
if you do not know and then you try to do, you might put yourself in a situation where you're going to need somebody to help you resolve a
Unravel.
tax bill that you got because you didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah.
And that's going to cost you more money than just asking them to file it in the first place.
Just
So
have.
just keep that in mind. Like, know who you are. If you are a DIYer and you know what you know, DIY your taxes. If you are not a DIY and you know you don't know that you don't know what you don't know,
What you don't
you need
know.
to ask for help.
Right.
You need to ask for
Yeah.
help. That's it.
Yeah. Well, you guys, Karina and I can bat this back and forth all day long. Again, I do encourage you guys to visit. There's a link in my Instagram profile. I'll put the link here in this video. Um, I think it was 6 tips. Forgive me, I can't remember. If it was 6 or 10. 6 tips for choosing your tax professional. Again, one of those tips is to ask them, what was the last course they took? When was the last conference they went to? What organizations are they part of? These are important. And if they
It's
can
important.
answer these questions, that tells you that they care. They want the knowledge and the information. They want to be able to provide you with the highest quality of service that they can come up with, right? These things matter. And so, I encourage you guys to look at that. Again, you guys, Karina and I are here every other Friday. For Financial Fraud Friday, we encourage you to ask any questions. Again, if you want to work with either of us, the links are in our profile. Links are in the descriptions. And we encourage you to follow, comment, like, share, subscribe,
Definitely.
all the things. All the things. So, any last words, Karina?
No, just go ahead. We'll see you next week or 2 weeks. Bye.
Next two. Yes. All right, y'all. Bye. See if I can find the where I can't find my mouse.
Oh gosh.
Somewhere. No, it's fine. We're good at it. Okay. All right.